profit maximization in the short run. Marginal cost, marginal revenue, marginal cost approach. In the second approach, the firm compares the amounts that each additional unit of output would add to total revenue and to total cost. In other words, the firm compares the marginal revenue and the marginal cost of each successive unit of output, assuming that producing is preferable to shutting down. The firm would just should produce any unit of output whose marginal revenue exceeds its marginal cost, because the firm would gain more in revenue from selling that unit than it would add to its cost of producing it. Conversely, if the marginal cost of a unit of output exceeds its marginal revenue, the firm should not produce that unit. Producing it would add more cost than to revenue, and profit would decline or loss would increase. In the initial stages of production where output is relatively low, marginal revenue will usually, but not always, exceed marginal costs. So it's profitable to produce through this range of output. But at later stages of production, where output is relatively high, rising marginal costs will exceed marginal revenue. Obviously, a profit-maximizing firm will want to avoid output levels in that range. Separating these two production ranges is a unique point at which marginal revenue equals marginal cost. This point is the key to the output determining rule. In the short run, the firm will maximize profit or minimize loss by producing the output at which marginal revenue equals marginal cost, as long as producing is preferable to shutting down. This profit maximizing guide is known as the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost rule. MR is equal to MC. Keep in mind these features of the MR equal to MC rule. For most sets of MR and MC data, MR and MC will be precisely equal at a fractional level of output. In such instances, the firm should produce the last complete unit of output for which MR exceeds MC. As noted, the rule applies only if producing is preferable to shutting down. We will show shortly that if marginal revenue does not equal or exceed average variable cost, the firm will shut down rather than produce the amount of output at which MR is equal to MC. This rule is an accurate guide to profit maximization for all firms, whether they are purely competitive, monopolistically competitive, or oligopolistic. The rule can be restated as price is equal to marginal cost, or P is equal to MC, when applied to a purely competitive firm, because the demand schedule faced by a competitive seller is perfectly elastic at the going market price, product price, and marginal revenue are equal. So under pure competition, and only under pure competition, we may substitute P for MR in the rule. When producing is preferable to shutting down, the competitive firm that wants to maximize its profit or minimize its loss should produce at that point where price equals marginal cost, or P is equal to MC.